Record button. Good morning, kids. Welcome to today's episode of the Kong Family Show. We are really excited today. We have Ralph. Ralph, how do you pronounce your last name, Ralph?
It's Feurer.
Feurer. Ralph Feurer. And yeah, so Ralph has a great story to tell. We're real excited to hear it. And you know, as usual, we gotta do our typical introduction. We are the Kong family, and we are here to change the world. And a lot of people think that that might be kind of crazy, but we don't, because we're watching it happen every single day. We're doing it one glass of hydrogen-rich, oxygen-saturated, incredibly hydrating KONGen 9.5 at a time, one lightning bolt in a box, one incredible guest, one fun show, one amazing family at a time. And today we have Ralph Feurer on the line, and he is going to talk to us about some very interesting things today. And so anyway, Ralph, how you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm doing wonderful.
Glad to hear it. Well, let's go ahead and get this ball rolling. I want to start by asking you the same things that I ask everybody. And that number one is, how, when, and why did you get involved with KONGen Water? And were you a skeptic like I was?
I was actually down visiting my brother Mark in Bullhead City, Arizona. And, you know, Mark has a machine. He has a K8. And he showed me the machine. And he was going to hyperbaric therapy with Dr. Horst Filzer, who is a Magic's medical consultant. And I had a chance to get to know Dr. Filzer. And, you know, Mark told me how wonderful the machine was and what it did. And I thought, yeah, of course. And I got to know Dr. Filzer, and I was very impressed with his story. I mean, he started out in Poland, and they escaped from Poland and got by pretty miraculous means to the U.S. And he was in Omaha. He needed a job. He went down and was working in the bottom level of the hospital for a pathologist. He absolutely hated it. He hated the smell. He hated everything. But the pathologist showed him everything. And over time, he learned to really love it. And he applied to Harvard, got in, became a vascular surgeon. And he's just an unbelievably kind, real guy. And he looked at me and he said, Ralph, as many problems as your brother Mark has, you have more. You need one of these machines. And I thought, well, okay. And then I heard about the price, and I thought, well, this is so high. I'm on a fixed income. I don't know if I can do this, but I took the leap of faith and bought a K8. And so I was very skeptical that it would do anything, but I have so many health issues and challenges, I was willing to give it a try, and it's been a great journey. I've loved my machine. I've loved the water.
Awesome. That's fantastic to hear. And so maybe you could, how long ago was that, by the way?
It's been a little bit over a year ago, or around a year ago, that I got my machine.
Okay.
And,
well, you know, one of the things that we have to talk about and make very clear when we're here on the Kong Family Show is that KONGen Water doesn't cure anything. It doesn't heal anything. It doesn't cure anything. It's not magic. It's not a miracle. What it is it's a tool. The healing that takes place, the curing that takes place is done by this machine. This machine right here that runs on 120 millivolts of electricity and hydrogen, this is what is the miracle. What KONGen Water is it is a tool that your body uses to heal itself. And we need to always make that perfectly clear. And, you know, we're supposed to stay away from sharing the stories of other people, but we are more than welcome to be able to share our own stories. And so what I would love to hear from you, Ralph, is you were just mentioning that you've had many health challenges. Maybe you could kind of talk about, first off, what those health challenges have been.
Well, my mom got diabetes in her 50s, and there's 6 of us children, and every one of us got diabetes. And I've been asked several times, am I type 1 or type 2? Really type 1.5 genetic mutation diabetes. So out of 6, all 6 of us got diabetes. And I was like everybody else. I was in denial, and I was busy with my life. And when I got it at the age of 26, and I've been insulin dependent for 30 plus years. And I sold in-home sales my whole life long. So getting between appointments, I would grab food when I could, and I would drink a big gulp between appointments and eat food that wasn't good. And that led to a lot of complications of diabetes, not the least of which was severe kidney trouble, headed towards kidney failure in 2013. I had my first severe kidney problems. And, I've had other severe complications of diabetes, but kidney headed towards dialysis was really a horrendous one. I had a friend who went through it. He had both legs amputated. He went blind. He went into kidney failure and was on dialysis, and his life was an ever-living hell to be here. And I was willing to do whatever I could, anything possible, to not go to dialysis, because, people get dialyzed. It takes most of the day. You feel horrible on the machine. It doesn't clean the kidneys like your kidneys do. The next day, you're so sick and feel lousy. The next day, you're right back on dialysis. And I drew a line in the sand for myself and said, I'm going to do whatever I possibly can to not go to dialysis.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. So, are you still on insulin now?
Yes, I am.
And you're the type 1 diabetic. So type 1 is where you have to take insulin, right?
Well, I'm type 1.5, which is a weird genetic diabetes, but to control it, it takes insulin. I also, I went into complete cardiac arrest last year. And I never had a heart attack. My heart just stopped pumping completely. And luckily, my sweetheart daughter was with me and my son, and they called 911 and they laid me out on the grass. It was the summertime. It was June 29th last year. And the paramedics had an incredibly difficult time getting me back. My, at the time, 4-year-old and 1-year-old grandchildren were with me, and they held up blankets. I guess there were 20 or 30 people around watching the show. They emergency stabilized me, took me to Riverton Hospital, which doesn't have a heart unit, did a test, showed I had massive blockages in my heart, raced me to Intermountain Medical Center, and I got 2 stents. And I had no blood flow of any kind for 10 minutes. And I had an appointment with the electrical cardiologist, one of the best in the world. In fact, he lectures in Mandarin Chinese. Yeah, it took me a long time to get an appointment with him. And he said, Ralph, what happened to you? You had a 1% chance of surviving. So, when Dr. Filzer said you need the machine more than your brother, I think he was probably pretty accurate. But the kidney doctor, the nephrologist, I've got a very, very good one. And he said, I am amazed that your kidneys didn't go into complete failure, because they can't go 10 minutes without blood flow. He was amazed I didn't need a transplant. So anyhow, one of my favorite sayings is, life is what happens while you're planning something else. And that certainly happened to me.
Wow, that was an amazing story. Wow. And so So my next curiosity is that what has happened now since you've been drinking Kangen water now for about a year, and if I think if I remember you told me that why don't you just go ahead and tell me what your story has been as far as once that's before like I like to say before Kong BK versus after Kong. So
Well,
what's your
well,
now
I
we've heard the before Kong story. What's your after Kong story?
well, I'll digress for just a couple of minutes. My sweetheart, we were married for almost 38 years, but she got early onset Alzheimer's, and she had it for about 9 years. And I knew that I would take care of her. I knew that she would not go to a home. We have a phenomenally good physician. She has been incredibly kind and good to us. And she talked to me. She said, Ralph, she said, Marlene is going to be better off in a home. She's going to be more stable. She's going to have a better routine. And she said, this is going to become overwhelming for you. And I knew that Marlene was very dependent on me, and that if I put her in a home, she would die of a broken heart very rapidly. So I was able to take care of her for a long time. She had no clue what was wrong with her. But towards the end, she knew how sick she was. And the first part of it, I felt was incorrect because she was better off with me. She died in 2017, surrounded by family. She still knew everybody and was able to say goodbye, but it did become overwhelming for me. I was hospitalized just before her death. I was hospitalized even sicker just after her death. And Dr. Thompson worked with my children to help them. And I got home just in time for her to get on her hospice meds, and she died 4.25 days later. But my health was so shot. It was the 36-hour day. So I was so depleted. And that's really why I had my heart event and some more serious problems. And what the KONGen water did was to help me to start reversing the diseases. I went to the nephrologist, the kidney doctor. It's been 3 months ago, and he showed that my kidney problem went from stage 3C to stage 4. And he said, you're right on the border of going to dialysis, at which point I really pretty much panicked. And I knew that KONGen water was a solution. I've got a very good friend, Natalie. She has a genetic defect, birth defect in her kidneys, and they gave her organic cranberry juice. That's all she had to drink for the time she was about 3 years old till she was 8 years old. She was double over in pain every day. So I thought, okay, I'm going to use KONGen water, and I did KONGen water 80%, and then I buy organic cranberry juice, and I do 20% organic cranberry juice, and it's all I drink. I drink at morning, I drink at noon, I drink at night, I drink it for my nighttime snack. If I wake up in the night, I drink it in between. So I really, really hydrated, and I use the combination of those two. And I just had my my last appointment with Dr. Freestone, my nephrologist, and he was super pleased because in the last 2 months, my kidney function has improved 20%, basically 10% per month. And it's been a combination of the KONGen water and the organic cranberry juice. And he said, you are out of danger of going to dialysis. And he said, I want you to keep up what you're doing. And so I'm thrilled, because I do not want to go down the dialysis or the kidney transplant treadmill. I don't want to do that.
Wow, that's awesome news. So now, as far as the KONGen water that you were drinking along with the cranberry juice, what were you using? Were you using 9.5 or 8.5, or what were you doing there?
You know, I was using 9.5 always, and you taught me the protocol to do the 11.5 in the morning first thing. And so I started doing 11.5 in the morning. Then I do 9.5 the rest of the drinking till noon. At noon I do an 11.5, and then I would do an 11.5 just before bed. I also found something searching around on YouTube, which is pretty incredible. There's an individual who was in stage 5 kidney failure. He was going blind. He is pretty much a professional videographer, and he has done 54 videos on reversing kidney disease, and his website is DADVICE, so DADVICE, and it's TV, it's kidney health, and then it's kidney disease. And he's put together 54 videos of his journey from stage 5 back to stage 2. And he said that in many cases that the nephrons in the kidneys can regrow, and it would be interesting to get a hold of him and tell him, you know, the power of KONGen water on top of everything he's doing. But for those, and he says that he has had success helping people, even who have been on dialysis, to be able to get off dialysis. And so there's just an aside, but I think a key foundation is KONGen water. And what has happened to me is I was so lethargic, and I've always had a ton of motivation, a ton of ability to move and to just do and go. And since I was so sick, I haven't been able to. And just in about the last 30 days, I have gotten my normal drive and energy back, and I'm able to get up pretty early and just hit it hard and hit it all day long. And I attribute a huge amount of that success to the KONGen water.
I love it, Ralph. That is classic. That is really awesome news, buddy. I'm really excited for you, because yeah, I do remember the first time I met you, which was back in June of this year, when we were just getting ready to go down to the San Diego convention. And
right.
Yeah, you were struggling pretty good, it seemed. And
yeah, I didn't have the energy that I do now, and I was down, and it was a physiological down. It wasn't, you know, depression to be depressed. It was, I just couldn't move very well. I just didn't feel good, and I feel fantastic now.
That is such great news. Wow. You know, I want to ask you something, and just kind of curious about this, because, you know, basically you were without any blood flow for 10 minutes. That's an absolutely amazing amount of time. And you know, we have a couple of buddies that are part of our Kong family that have come on the show. One of them, his name is Ricky Bowden, and he lives in Memphis, Tennessee. And we have another friend named Sam Tran, who lives up in Seattle, Washington. And both of these two, they basically went to heaven and came back. They both, Ricky got shot, and Sam had a skateboarding accident where he put himself into a coma. And they both have really interesting things to say about what happened during that period, you know, where they basically were, you know, Sam says, I died and I came back. And, you know, and he had a complete change of mind and a complete change of heart when he came back. It was interesting because before he died, he thought KONGen Water was a bunch of nonsense. And after he came back, he had a completely different thought process on it. And now he does KONGen Water full time. He quit his 23-year job as a cancer research scientist for Amgen Laboratories. And so, yeah, he came back as an absolutely different person. What I'm wondering is if you would be willing to elaborate on any of that, because we around here at the Kong family, because of Ricky and Sam, we have some great curiosity in that department. I'm wondering if you have anything to say along those lines about what happened while you were out.
You know, I've been asked about that by several people, and whatever happened to me while I was out, I don't remember. I don't remember going anywhere. I know that in talking to my daughter Megan, she was freaked out beyond belief because she had just lost her mom, the person she was closest to on the earth. And a nurse came by, and the 911 said, "Do not keep coming to this hospital." And we were within 3 minutes of getting to the hospital. They said, "Pull him out, lay him on the grass, we'll come to you." And the nurse was getting off shift, and she started CPR on me, and I have never been able to find her. And I think she made the difference. And then the paramedics got there, and they called out no pulse 3 different times. They were yelling to each other. And I think they were within a gnat's eyelash of calling it and pronouncing me dead on the scene. So I did not have a vision that I know of. And maybe I'm such a big sinner. The Lord kicked me back and said, "You got a lot of work to do, buddy. You got a lot of people to help you yet." Megan and I were able to go to a phenomenal presentation. I helped her go to an author's retreat, and it was about 3 weeks ago. It was in Alta, Utah, and the person who put it on, Bridget Birch Cook, is just phenomenal. And there is on a Friday night, they have a keynote speaker come in, and they have a special dinner. And since I helped fund it for Megan, she wants to be a she's a 3rd grade teacher, and she wants to be a children's book author. And the keynote speaker was a physician by the name of Jeffrey O'Driscoll, and he was at the University of Utah as an emergency room doctor for 25 years. And in 25 years, he had 60,000 people that he attended to in the emergency room. And, you know, when they announced that it was, you know, a doctor that was a keynote, I thought, I go to so many doctors and I don't want to listen to another doctor. I could not have been more wrong. He has had unbelievable experiences the other side of the veil and close to this side of the veil. And his friend, Jeffrey Olson, it took him 19 years to convince Dr. O'Driscoll to share his story. So he had one nurse that they would have the experiences together, and his wife. He's a very quiet guy, very humble guy. And he autographed a book for everybody. He autographed his book for me. It's called Not Yet, and it's by Jeffrey O'Driscoll, MD. And the book is near life experiences. And I was so impressed with him and impressed with that book. It's a very fast read. It's 110 pages. I read it in a day and a half, and I was stunned, dumbfounded in what he experienced. We really are very, very close to the other side, and the other side is so close to us. If anybody is interested in getting a copy of that book, you've got to get it on the web, on like Amazon Prime. It's $13.91. And if people have belief in the other side, it's one of the best books I have ever read. I have given out 10 copies myself to people I'm close to. And I don't know, one of the things, JJ, that's really helped me is I went through depression as Marlene died, because we had been together so long. I mean, 38 years, and caring for her was constantly with her. I mean, pretty much 24/7. So I love to go with my daughter Megan, and I help the third graders that are behind. It's my favorite, right? If they're behind on their times tables, if they need help reading, whatever my daughter needs, I'm her helper. And the pay is zero, but the blessings are phenomenal. And then I found a shelter that is a sanctuary shelter for people that have been impacted by domestic violence. And so I love to help them. I go to the shelter 3 or 4 times a week. I get donations for them. I bring clothes, I bring vegetables out of my garden. And so to do stuff outside of myself has really, really helped me. But I mean, the KONGen Water has done its job, and I am back to myself, where I have just 3 tons of energy, can go and go and go and go. And I believe Dr. Filter did me the biggest favor in the world to tell me I needed a machine. And, you know, I am pretty much retired. It was a big investment for me. It was hard to come up with the money. I think I've got 1 payment left on the machine. But if anybody is on the fence, get a machine. It's the greatest thing in the world.
Wow. That's incredible. How did you go about getting the machine? Did you finance it through like a credit card, or did you use Enagic's financing? What did you do?
You know, I went through Fred Brown, and, you know, he said, you can buy the machine, pay it up front. You can do 12 months. You can do 16 months. And I said, I didn't really want the big payment, and I didn't want to go over a year. I said, I think I can do it in 12 months. And so they put it on in Enagic's financing for 12 months. And, you know, next month will be my last payment. And, you know, now I enjoy the benefits for the rest of my life.
That deserves another Kong chest beating right there. And you know, so wow, Ralph, what an incredible story. I am so happy for you. I'm so excited. I have so much passion for this company and this product and what it helps the human body do for itself, because this body of ours is such an amazing machine, and it still boggles my mind every day that I'm able to have guests on here. Some of the stories that I've heard, some of the things that I've learned from awesome people like yourself who are willing to come and share their experience. It's been really life-changing for me, and it's been incredibly gratifying. And I just can't thank you enough for coming and sharing this story with us, because this is getting recorded. It's going to go out onto YouTube. This is going to be here for days, weeks, months, and years to come. And you know, hopefully this is going to impact somebody's life who is in your situation, you know, and so we're really excited that you came on here. And I want to ask you a question that I always ask everybody, and that is, if you only had one thing that you could say to somebody about KONGen Water, you know, you meet them in the store, you meet them on the street, you meet them somewhere, and you only have a few seconds, you only have one thing you can say to them, what would it be?
Most of the time when things sound too good to be true, they are. In this case, it's absolutely opposite. The machine is what it says it is. It does what it says it does. It's the best water in the world. And it's like you say, it doesn't cure or heal anything, but it allows your body to have the tools. And, you know, the problem we have is, you know, with the depleted soils, with everything we're facing, with all of the pollution everywhere, our bodies are struggling to keep up at all. And what it does is it alkalizes the body, and it gives us the key tools that we need to be able to let you know, our God's greatest creation to be able to heal itself. And so it is what they say it is. It does what people say it does. And I'm really thankful Dr. Filter hit me in the forehead with a sledgehammer and said, Ralph, you need a machine. Because my brother wasn't going to convince me to get a machine. I thought it was an expensive piece of equipment, and I bought a bunch of machines that don't work, don't do anything. This one does phenomenal stuff.
Yeah. So does your brother still have a machine?
He does. He does.
Is he involved with the business side of it as well?
No, he's not interested in the business. No, he got paralyzed. He had a cyst in his neck, and he got paralyzed quadriplegic about 7.5 years ago now. And so he has struggled to try to regain and try to walk like he did before his level of injury. He is able to walk barely with the walker, but, you know, he's had to accept the reality that this level of injury, he's not going to be the same.
Wow. Yeah, we may have to get him in touch with our Kong family member, a guy named Ian Rood. I call him the Voltinator because
the Voltinator, huh?
Yeah, he uses voltage. He uses electricity and KONGen water and some sort of funky exercise system that targets certain areas of the body that have issues. Like, for example, he's in Arkansas, and when Sam Tran went to Arkansas back in the spring to go do some presentations for some distributors in Arkansas, he ended up going and seeing Ian, and he had this shoulder problem for a long time that just constantly bothered him and that kind of thing. And he went in for like a half an hour treatment with Ian, and he said that shoulder problem was cleared up just like that. And you know, Ian has come on the show a couple of times, and he's talked about some of the things that he's been able to do. And one of them that always intrigues me that I want to learn more about, you know, he's going to come back on the show again sometime, and we're looking forward to that. But he had one guy that went in for a surgery of some sort or another, and something went wrong during the surgery. And when he woke up, he was told, sorry, but you're going to be paralyzed for the rest of your life. And literally in a matter of days of working with Ian, he's walking again. And, you know, so that might be something that you might want to try to put your brother in touch, because if it can be healed, it's the body that's going to heal it. And
right.
Ian told me he's been using this technology for a long time, and he used it for himself because he had this chronic pain. I forget the name of it exactly, but it's like the most painful thing that there is. On a pain meter of 0 to 50, it's 50. And he said it was the most excruciating pain he's ever felt in his life. It said he felt like he was on fire, and it's some sort of a nerve issue. And he's been able to control that utilizing what he does. And, you know, so it's pretty interesting stuff. But he said that he'd been using it for a couple of years, and then he ran into KONGen Water. And when he added KONGen Water to the equation, the whole thing exploded, because KONGen Water provides that electricity and the hydrogen. And, you know, he's actually come on the show and explained exactly why KONGen Water does what it does, along with his other treatment. So it's really cool. And I figured I might as well bring that up and you know, bring him to your attention. And, you know,
tell me his last name again, JJ.
R-U-D-E, Ian Rood. And in fact, if you go onto YouTube and you type in the Kong family the Kong family show welcomes Ian Rude, you will be able to watch his episodes. And like I say, I call him the Voltinator, and I want to go get his treatment on my knee that is so messed up, that's bone to bone, and has had 3 major surgeries on it. And you know, I want to try and keep my OEM equipment if I can.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Tell me where he's at, which state?
He's out of Arkansas.
That's what I thought you said. Arkansas.
He lives in the same place where Wally World is the headquarters of Wally World. And so anyway, gosh, what an incredible story, Ralph. I sure appreciate you coming and doing this. And now the last thing I always like to do, because one of my big things with this show is to try and unite people who resonate with each other. I want to give you an opportunity to let people know, because there might be people out there who see this and they want to hook up with you. They want to work with you. They want to buy a machine from you. They want to, get advice from you. And, and so that's one of our goals around here, is to get people together who resonate with each other, who can, create friendships together and business relationships and that kind of thing. And so, hang on one second. Come here, sweetie. I don't know if you got to meet my sweetie, Ralph.
I have never had the opportunity.
This is Tina.
Hi,
Good morning.
Good morning, Dina. It's nice to meet you.
Yeah, she's headed off to work. So
you have a wonderful husband. He's been really, really kind to me. He's been really helpful.
Nice. He loves to be helpful.
Yeah, he's one of the good ones. Bye. Have a great day.
You too.
So anyway, Ralph, I would love to give you this opportunity to share whatever contact information you would like to share with people. And I know from our conversation on Monday that you're not on Facebook, but I actually hope to get you to get onto Facebook, because it's really a powerful tool that you can use to help build your business, to help share your story. I know there's some people have a little bit of fear over being involved with Facebook, but no, it's really one of those things, and that you should be involved with. And you'll meet a lot of really wonderful people. You'll develop some really great relationships, and it'll help you with building your business, because literally it's the biggest marketing platform on the planet. And so I'd love to try and encourage you to jump on, and I'll even be happy to come out and show you how to get on, show you how to set your settings so that that you're not exposing too much about yourself or whatever. I was curious and concerned about getting on Facebook in the beginning too, but it's been an incredible blessing. Not only being able to hook up with friends and that kind of thing, but anyway, so if and when I'm sorry, go ahead.
I would love to have you help me get on Facebook, and I'm willing to do that. At this point, if people want to contact me, probably the very best way to do it at this point is to get me through my email. And, if they want to talk on the phone, leave me a number and I will call them back. So let me give you my email address. It's Ralph, R-A-L-P-H and the last name is Feurer. It's F-E-U-R-E-R, and it's at gmail.com. And, I think we ought to work and get me on Facebook. I'm really pretty much of an introvert, and my kids have encouraged me to get on Facebook, and I've told them no, but I can see the advantages. But if anybody wants to talk and I can give them more information, the best way at this point is to shoot me an email and give me a phone number if you want to give me a phone number, and I'll call you back as I can. For not working much. It's amazing how busy I seem to be going to the shelter and helping out and helping Megan with school. But I love to serve and help people. I mean, it's one of the things I really, really like to do.
Yeah, well, Ralph, I'll tell you what, buddy, you have a heck of a powerful story. I was really looking forward to having you on here today because I think these kinds of stories, they change lives. I know that it was a similarly powerful story that changed my life, that made me actually start to look at this water because I thought it was a joke. I laughed about it. A good friend of mine posted about it for about 6 months on Facebook, and I just ignored it. I thought it was stupid. I thought water's water, and this is crazy. And I would give him likes and move on because I didn't know anything, and I certainly wasn't going to be spouting out my pie hole when I don't even know anything. So I'd just give him likes because he's a really good friend of mine. And so I wasn't going to go on there and say bad things or anything like that. I'd just give him likes, laugh, and move on. And then one day that powerful story came across the feed, and I read it. I clicked that see more button for the first time, and that story changed my life. I will be forever grateful to that beautiful angel, Mrs. Brittany Dykes, who changed the course and direction of my life by simply sharing her story. And so that's why we share stories here on the Kong Family Show, is because of that. It changed my life, and I believe it will change other people's lives as well. You know, and as you continue to progress and get better and better and better, definitely would love to be able to track your story and get you back on here again and share more, you know, as things get better, because I really believe if you keep up what you're doing, your body's going to heal itself. It's going to cure all of your issues. You know, that it's just a matter of giving your machine what it needs so it can do its job. And, you know, I believe wholeheartedly what Barry Ah says, Dr. Barry Ah. He says there is no such thing as an incurable disease. There's a point of no return, but the body can heal everything. It just needs what it needs. And so I'm really grateful for you coming on the show here today on the live side over on Facebook. We've got a bunch of people that are listening in, that are hearing your story, that are saying amazing, and we're blessed, and congratulations. And there's love signs and like signs and smiley faces flying up the screen left and right. And so, you know, we're very blessed to have had you on here today, buddy. And I just want to say thank you so much for coming in here, because having you in here is going to be one of those things that is going to go a long ways towards helping us accomplish our goal, because we are the Kong family, and our goal is really simple. We just want to change the world. And as I say at the beginning of every show, we're doing it. One glass of hydrogen-rich, oxygen-saturated, incredibly hydrating KONGen 9.5 at a time, one lightning bolt in a box, one awesome, gracious guest, one incredibly fun and interesting show, and one awesome family at a time. We're changing the world, and we sure appreciate you coming in to help us do that. And I know that there are people that are on the live side that are looking forward to being able to share this YouTube video. You and I both know that there are lots and lots and lots of people out there that are suffering from the same thing that you've gone through. And so we are just so grateful for you to come here and share your story. I know there's a lot of people out there that are not willing to come on. They're not willing to come share their story. And quite frankly, it's heartbreaking. And because I don't think they understand how powerful their stories can be. And so God bless you, my friend, for coming on and sharing this magic with the family, so that we can get this out there and share it with other people. And I would imagine that you're going to be hearing from people as this thing gets shared. You're going to be getting emails and people wanting to ask you questions. And so thank you very much in advance for those people that are going to be coming. And, you know, what an awesome story you had to tell. And so before we leave, I'd just like to give you one last opportunity. If there's any one last thing that you'd like to leave with everybody, go ahead and do that. And then we'll go ahead and call this a close and get on with our day?
I believe there are no coincidences in life. I think the people that we run into and end up meeting, bump into, and meet randomly, we were destined to meet. I am so thankful to have met you. I am thankful for all the kindness, kind things that you have done for me. I am thankful that you gave me the opportunity to share my story, and I'm excited to help anybody that I can. I love to help people. And again, thanks so much, and God bless everybody, and have a wonderful day.
Awesome, Ralph. Thank you once again, buddy. And, you know, as usual, we end this show with, do not forget your hugs. These things right here are really important. Give yourself a hug and a big old HoooDeeHooooo. And get out there and change the world, kids, starting with your own. Ralph, thank you so much once again. God bless you and yours. And I look forward to watching and being part of your progress. And so thank you once again, buddy. You have yourself an awesome day, and we'll be talking soon.
You as well. Bye now.
All right, buddy. Bye for now. Make it a great day.